Welcome back. I'm currently down in Bournemouth on the south coast of England, enjoying a bit of time off work. Yesterday I went out on a bit of a trail run, ran along the Jurassic Coast. It was lovely, super beautiful, but it was super windy, so like the coast path goes along like pretty sketchy cliff tops, and in the high wind it wasn't very enjoyable running. I felt like I was being blown around and the drop was only about like a metre away from me. So yeah, that didn't exactly go to plan. So I wanted to do a quick update on my training for October. The month went amazing. I ran 486 kilometre, about 46 hours of running. So I was running like on average about an hour and a half every day. And I think I only had one day off the whole month. I did loads of good quality sessions, I was doing strength sessions. So like from a training perspective, it was pretty much the best training month I've ever had. So the first week of the month was an interesting one. I did about 8 hours of running, 86 kilometres, and the week was going pretty well. The track session on Tuesday, I know I paced that terribly in the first week of the month, but generally it was going well. On the Thursday, we had the first Thursday of the month, we had the Hairstock Handicap, which is like a 1.8 kilometre handicap race where everyone gets a time, so the slower people start first and the quicker people start last. And the goal is that everyone finishes roughly about the same time, depending on how they do against their handicap. Went well, but afterwards I had this pain in my foot. The only time I've ever had to take time off running from like an injury is because I had this pain on the outside of my foot, right on the right outside edge, and I previously had to take like 4 weeks off from running to recover from an injury there. So as soon as I felt that pain, I was like, okay. So I dropped a few runs out of my training plan and took it a bit easy that week. And then I had 3 unbelievable training weeks, like dream training weeks. So in those 3 weeks, I did 10 hours of running, 11 hours of running, and then 10 hours of running, which roughly worked out to about 117 kilometres, 122 kilometres, and 115 kilometres. So like really, really solid training weeks for me. And each of these had like hard sessions on a Tuesday at the track, a good threshold session on a Thursday, and then a speed session or like a tempo effort as part of my Sunday long run. And now at the club we started to do hill sprints. So after the Thursday tempo session, we'd just go to like a local hill and do like 45 seconds hill sprint with a 90-second recovery, and do like 6 to 8 of them. So really feel like those sessions are building a bit of strength in my body. Definitely becoming a lot more comfortable running these harder paces than I have been previously. So yeah, really good signs there. And I'm starting to try and build in these sort of harder sessions within my Sunday long runs. So for example, one of them I did 3 5k blocks at a sort of a threshold half marathon pace effort. So with like easy recovery in between. So starting to do more of those like longer, harder sessions, which will be good for like the half marathon and the marathon that I've got coming up. I'm finding these higher volume training weeks quite demanding on my like fueling, on my carb reserves and my energy levels. So I've previously done 120, 140k weeks and not had any issues with feeling like low energy. But I think doing the quality sessions and the high volume is definitely depleting some of my carb reserves, so I'm having to look a bit more at my nutrition, make sure I'm getting the right fuel to be able to do these hard sessions and the volume of work that I'm doing. So it's an interesting dynamic with this sort of tweak in my training. So I finished the month with the Maverick Half Marathon, which I did the video on. I was planning on doing this at like a threshold tempo effort. And you can see from the video, I just went flat out from the start. So like I think my like second kilometre was like a sub 4 minute kilometre, and it was downhill, but yeah, I went out hard. And I think even towards the end when we were going downhill, I was just running flat out. So doing near enough 4 minute kilometres on like technical downhill terrain. Really enjoyed it. It was a great race. But yeah, I wasn't planning on running as hard as that. So essentially that was like a race pace effort. I ran that as hard as I possibly could have. Good to challenge my body like that, but yeah, it wasn't exactly the plan. And in terms of so training, obviously it's been amazing in October. High volume, lots of quality sessions, doing strength training as well. and yeah, just feeling pretty strong, to be honest. In terms of my fitness level, my watch thinks that my VO2 max is about 57, so it has ticked up, seeing that gradual improvement. I haven't had a chance yet to do a math test because I've been struggling with a bit of like a chest infection for the last week, but I'll get a math test done in the next few days just to kind of gauge where I am fitness wise. I do feel like in October I continued to build on the progress that I made in September, so yeah, pretty happy with where I am fitness wise. I reckon I'm now on the verge of I reckon I could probably break sub 19 on a 5k if I went for a hard effort. Probably need like a good race or try a time trial to really test that, but yeah, I think that's on the cards now if I can get good conditions, good course, and maybe a race environment. So yeah, the last week hasn't been ideal. I've had a bit of a chest infection. That's now gone, fully recovered from that, but that did take my training out for about 4 or 5 days. And I also had a bit of an ankle injury, which has all gone now as well. But I think I did that when I was walking. Obviously the training sort of puts a bit of stress on the body, but yeah, it was like a strange pain in the side of my foot when I was walking. But yeah, both of those are now fully gone, so back to training. So the first week of November has been a bit of a write-off, but the remaining weeks of November should be back to normal. So plans for November, basically the same, more of the same, more high volume, trying to build up to those 12-hour weeks. I'm going to start to build in a bit more strength work here and there, so smaller, gradually building that up, so that should definitely ramp up in November. I do have the Gosport Half Marathon on the 20th of November, so that's going to be the big test. It would be lovely, if conditions are right, if it's not too windy, to try and break 1:30, so 90 minutes in the half marathon. That's like been a goal of mine for years, so it would be lovely to finally crack that. That's really the goal. If it's super windy, bad conditions, then that's probably off the cards, but yeah, definitely going there to do like a race pace effort. So yeah, just here on enjoying a bit of a break. Just wanted to give you a quick update on training for October. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Alright, cheers for watching, bye.